Hey there, thank you for downloading this cheat sheet. Before I get into the meat of this video where I will give you more details and more explanations on how to use this cheat sheet for the maximum benefit, I just wanted to thank you for downloading it and applying. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm all about helping people change their life for the better, help myself change my life for the better, because I believe that changing the whole world starts with one individual. And that is my mission. If I help 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people change their lives for the better, I believe it will create a bigger impact for the future and the future generations. I truly believe that if we all learn to communicate better, it will have a much greater impact on the world itself and on the other people around us. So even if 10 people or 100 people get helped with this message, I believe that it will be greatly beneficial to all of us. So yeah, thank you for taking action and being on your journey, and let's get into explaining the cheat sheet in more details and how you can apply it for maximum benefit in your life. Okay, so before I get into the main part of this video, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background to where I come from. So maybe some of you can relate to this. If you were to meet me about 5 years ago, I was socially anxious to the point of where I was afraid to go to buy groceries because I didn't want to talk to the cashier. I was afraid maybe some awkwardness would happen in the conversation and that really gave me an enormous and really irrational amounts of fear in my gut. So yeah, then after that I kind of knew that I had to fix this, and I stumbled upon some prank, picking up girls videos, something like that. So that really led me to the dating community and comfort zone, crushers, and even sales community, and I learned from all sources, and yeah, I kind of took action, got over hurdles, but even though it helped a lot, I still had those inner bad beliefs and kind of bad programming inside of myself. So even though I had results, I met people, made new friends, met new girls, had new girlfriends, was really good at networking. It was really done on top of my bad beliefs, and I was always pushing through them, and I never really fixed them. So I kind of, for the last maybe 2 years or 3 years, I've spent on discovering the other side of the puzzle, where I focused on inner game work solely. So yeah, I kind of got the best of two worlds, of both worlds, and that's what I am going to do with this channel, and I'm going to be sharing my message, what I find out, and that's actually what I'm sharing with you today in this cheat sheet. So let's get to explaining the cheat sheet. So the next thing you have to do is you have to imagine a guy who wouldn't have any troubles achieving the goal that you have. So who is the guy who is the B stage that wouldn't have any problems having what you have and doing what you need to do? So if your goal is to go up to a girl, talk to her, make her laugh and get her number, or your goal is to go up to some high status alpha guy, chat him up, maybe make a good friend or invite him for a dinner or get a good business connection or present to him some good business idea, who is a guy who would have no problem doing that? So what you have to do is define the characteristics of that guy, like confident, has boundaries, outgoing, charismatic, doesn't take himself seriously, but maybe looks like you wouldn't want to mess with him, looks like he has strong boundaries, you know, but he's not that stiff or stuff like that. So after you define his characteristics, you want to define his beliefs. So if you have beliefs like, if I go up to that girl, I'm going to get ridiculed, I'm going to get rejected, or if I go up to that guy, I don't have anything to offer to him, or my business idea is really bad. You have to imagine a guy who has no problem achieving the goal you have, and then ask yourself, okay, does that guy have belief, that belief? So more likely he has a belief that goes along the lines of, if I approach that girl, she's going to love me, or my value is always 100 out of 100 no matter what reaction people give to me, or stuff like that. So he would really have different set of beliefs than you have right now. And also the things you can define is, what does he look like in terms of like his face, like grooming, muscles, what is his fashion like, how fast does he walk, how fast does he speak, how deep is his voice, etc, etc. So basically you are defining a role that's best suitable for the goal you have. So that's the first stage of anything you want to do in your life, especially if it's something that you've never done before and you're really afraid to do it, like picking up girls, okay, or learning to do sales, or whatever, that anything that has to do with communication and cold approaching, cold calling people. So the next thing you want to do is, after you do define that B stage and those beliefs and that identity, you want to start fixing your identity and reinforcing the new beliefs, new characteristics, and those changing yourself, changing your identity. So this part is kind of simple, but it's not easy. So it's simple to understand, but it's not easy to do. So in the cheat sheet I gave you some free methods to use, but yeah, so you can try and do it on your own, of course. So you can maybe try affirmations. There are good methods like Sedona method and stuff like that. So you have to start changing your identity. When you kind of have the base going and you start rolling with the new identity, the next thing you want to do is start taking the right action. So without action, you cannot really cement the new identity into reality. So who cares if you have changed yourself from the inside when the outside manifestation doesn't represent who you think you are inside. So the next thing is defining the right steps to take, having the right techniques, having the right scripts, comfort zone challenges, whatever you need to do to take the right action in order to achieve your goals, or to change your identity first and then to achieve your goals. So the next step is doing and taking the right action, but it cannot come first. The changing your identity must come first, and then the right action comes from that, and then eventually that identity will become stronger and stronger. The action you take will become easier and easier, and eventually results will come as a byproduct of just being who you are, or in this case that new identity, taking the right action. Results will just come as a byproduct. Okay guys, so I wanted to make a quick detour for a few minutes and just explain to you the full program that I use to work with my guys. So the thing that you received in the cheat sheet, it's just a small part. It's kind of the backbone, the structure of the program that I use to work with my guys, but this is the full-on thing, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. So let's get started. So as you know from the cheat sheet, you have a be, do and have stage. So when I work with my clients on their cold approaching, first thing we want to focus on is vision. So we want to imagine and define the vision. So why do they want to do what they do? Where do they want to take it? And I give you specific questions. I help you define it. I help you to not limit yourself, but also I help you to make it realistic and not fly too high. Even though we want you to fly too high, I use many methods that I've learned over the course of past few years to help you imagine and define what you want. So after we we have done this with those informations, we use that to create a vision and make it as attractive as possible to our being, in order for it to give us energy and drive us towards itself. So this step here is probably one of the most important steps of all of this. So this step here is really crucial and will really help you achieve any goal, especially fixed cold approaching, whether for dating purposes or approaching or networking purposes. So the next thing here, if you have heard about the book called Transurfing, so you should read it. It's a great book, but basically I use a lot of methods from that book and other books I've read on similar topics that I have modified and applied to cold approaching. So this is why I call this step Transurfing. We will use that knowledge to start shifting your reality into the desired into the desired reality, and it will really make all of this easier for us. So the next thing we want to do is, after we have our goals and our visions defined, we want to work on our identity and aspects of our identity with the method called Aspectics. As you see here, it's the method created by Serbian esoteric Slavinsky. You can Google him if you want. So basically we also imagine and define our identity, who we have to be to live that goal. So we are still working on the B stage, and I will help you with that, because there are also specific questions that are most important for these steps. So the next thing is the next step is called Psychonautic and Aspectics. So as you can see here, Aspectics. So we use Aspectics and that method, and also many different methods like PAT and stuff like that, to really dive deep into our subconscious mind, and to release inner trauma, and to start working on our limiting beliefs, and to start working on our energetic body, and maybe really start moving the energies that are stuck there. And we also process the past experiences that maybe aren't that useful and maybe block us in this moment. Also, Aspectics work with different aspects of your personality, because I will just keep this short, but the fact that one part of you wants to approach a girl and the other part of you doesn't let it do it, that means that you have multiple aspects in your personality, and they are not working towards the same goal, but each of them is pulling on their own sides, and that's why you are stuck. So we work with all of that and integrate all of that as much as possible, usually 100%, and after that we move to alchemy of beliefs. And in this stage we work solely on your beliefs, noticing the old beliefs that don't serve us, and then defining the new ones, and then working on cementing those beliefs in our subconscious. This step is also really important, this one here. Only after we have done all of these 6 steps, this takes us around 3 to 4 weeks to do, only then are we ready to start shifting gears, because this way there is no friction inner game friction that will stop us from taking this action. That's why I call it frictionless cold approach. Only then we start going through the 3 tiers of systematic desensitization, where I have a specific set of drills that you're supposed to go out in public venues, streets, clubs, malls, and stuff like that, and talk to people, talk to girls, approach them, do drills, have fun, and they're kind of structured from the easier ones to the harder ones, in a way that will make it as least painful as possible, because it is supposed to be painful, but it's not supposed to create trauma. We will always keep your kind of fear levels around 6 out of 10, and this step here is the kind of center of everything, because this step, when done correctly, will help you cement this new identity, this new reality, and will also give you the confidence needed to achieve whatever you want with cold approaching. So after this, this step here is really the most important. After this, we've moved to these two steps, which are the easier ones, but also really important: building systems and structure, where I will go over with you what will you do if you ever fall out of momentum with cold approach. So maybe you are working for 2-3 months, you are not going out, and then you're supposed to go out, but you feel like you can't do it. I will go over how to get into the zone quickly. We will build microsystems, macrosystems. We will go over different structures that will keep your beliefs ready, that will keep your momentum going always. This step here is really important for the fix to be long term, and after that, securing the future. So this is just going over everything, and also it is connected to building systems and structure, and we will also work a little bit on what the next steps are. But when we come to these steps, to this last step, we have already completed our mission here, which is to get you ready to do cold approach, go out there, pick up girls, talk to people, network, and have fun and be free in your skin. So yeah, this is me explaining the method. Let's get back to the video. Thanks. If this process sounds like something reasonable to you, and it looks like something that might help you achieve your goals, I really put up a really good deal for you on the button below. Click there, it's free, and sign up now. See you in the next one.